Okay, got another video here. Again, we're going to be doing silver trial. Something I neglected to do in the first run of this video, and that was show what talents and glyphs I am using. So, correcting that now, here we go. Alrighty. We have Plague Leech. Consumes your blood, plague, and frost fever on target to activate up to 2 random fully depleted runes as death runes. Very handy, especially if you need to use Death Strike very quickly and heal yourself. Thing is, though, I don't really need it on silver because I am kind of overgeared for it. But that's the one I use, and I would definitely recommend it if you're having survivability issues, because Plague Leech is, I think, a rather underrated skill, and people should use it more. Purgatory. Again, don't really need it. An unholy pact that prevents death when you sustain fatal damage, instead absorbing incoming healing equal to the amount of damage prevented lasting 3 seconds. Basically, it's a cheat mode. Again, don't really need it here unless I just totally have a blonde moment and fuck up. Death's Advance. Again, good for if you need to pick up ads if things get a little bit too mobbish, so just pop Death's Advance. Speed around a little bit more, helps pick up ads a little bit easier. Definitely talent of choice here. Blood Tap. Would never be without it. Every 15 runic power you spend will generate a blood charge, max 12 charges. Blood Tap consumes 5 blood charges to activate a random fully depleted rune as a death rune. Very, very, very handy. I use it literally every second I can get. Death Pact. Gives me my favorite oh shit button. Heals the Death Knight for 50% of max health, absorbing incoming healing equal to 25% of max health for 15 seconds. Basically, if you find yourself taking on a lot of damage, and DKs do take a lot of spike damage still, this is going to change in Legion though, but we'll get to that later. It's a good oh shit button. Gorfien's Grasp. Good thing to kind of gather up all the ads. Don't really need it in here, so I might change it to Desecrated Ground. Corrupts the ground in an 8-yard radius beneath the Death Knight for 10 seconds. While standing in this corruption, the Death Knight is immune to roots, snares, and effects that cause loss of control. This ability instantly removes such effects when activated. Don't really need it here, but in Gold Trial, I do switch to that because of one of the ads does a stun, and it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Defile, pretty much your go-to here. Defiles the ground targeted by the Death Knight every 1 second. If there are any enemies standing in Defile, it deals 4,393 Shadow Frost damage to them and grows in radius and damage by 2.5%. Enemies standing in your Defile deal 10% less damage to you. It replaces your generic Death and Decay. I like it here. Don't really need to use the other ones. Necrotic Plague, not even really applicable. Breath of Sindragosa, basically big old dragon head, shoots frost damage. It, again, not really applicable here to this. So, about the only one I change between silver and gold would be Desecrated Ground and Gorfien's Grasp, so that's about the only one I change. As for glyphs, your Outbreak spell no longer has a cooldown, but now costs 30 runic power. I prefer it because when using Plague Leech, your diseases go away, so you want to reapply those quickly to keep your damage tick up. Very handy. Glyph of Anti-Magic Shell. Increase duration of Anti-Magic Shell by 3 seconds. Who doesn't want a little bit extra time on their shield? It's just a good glyph to have. Dancing Rune Weapon. Increase your threat generation by 100% while your Dancing Rune Weapon is active, but reduce its damage dealt by 25%. I can deal with the damage loss, to be honest with you. I like the fact that it does a 100% threat generation, and it will become apparent later on in this video. When your Death Grip ability fails to target its... I can't read today. When your Death Grip ability fails because its target is immune, its cooldown is reset. Not a particularly important glyph, but I have it there anyway. Glyph of Deathgate and Glyph of Army of the Dead. This is kind of important because it no longer taunts the target. In some boss fights, that can be really dicey, and especially if you're a DPS Death Knight, use that glyph because the tanks will yell at you if you don't. Trust me, I have done my fair share of yelling. So those are the talents I have taken. These are the glyphs I am using right now for this little exercise. So now we have abilities that I have on my bars here. My macro for Chains of Ice and Death Grip. Defile, went over that before, always handy. Blood Boil, spreads the diseases. Soul Reaper, use that at 35% or lower, gives a little extra damage. Plague Leech, went into that one. Racial, Gift of the Naru. Dark Command, Death Strike, which is one of your main damage abilities, and also your healing ability. It is dependent on your mastery. The more mastery you have, the more you're going to heal yourself. Death Coil, main damage ability again. Blood Tap, my favorite little one. Bone Shield, always keep that active and up. Outbreak, this is what you apply your diseases with. Horn of Winter, one of the very few things you can use in here because you cannot use Drainic Armor Potion or Strength Potions or Health Pots. You have to use the Health Stones provided here. You can use a food buff and a flask, but that is it. There's Dancing Rune Weapon and Army of the Dead. For me, I don't really need to use either, or don't really need to use Army of the Dead while I am in here on silver, so don't really worry about that. Chains of Ice is just a slow. Empowered Rune Weapon, it definitely has its uses, but again, not really applicable for me in silver. Strangulate, Silence. Rune Tap, if you're having survivability issues, you definitely want this on your bar. Consumes 1 blood rune to reduce all damage taken by 40% for 3 seconds. If you're having survivability issues, as I have heard some people do, use that. Use it every chance you get, especially in later waves as more damage is going out. There's Gorfine's Grasp. I have Mind Freeze right here. Interrupt. Anti-Magic Shell, or AMS as we like to call it. Vampiric Blood, increase maximum health by 15% and increasing healing received by 15% for 10 seconds. Very handy. Icebound Fortitude, Death Knight freezes her blood to become immune to stun effects and reduce all damage taken by 50% for 8 seconds. Very, very handy, but it does have a 3-minute cooldown, so try and save it for the last waves if you can. Death Pact, our favorite oh shit button right there. And Death's Advance, which is your speed boost. And here's my ring. Don't really need it, again, at this, on this proving ground, so we're probably not going to even mess with it. Alrighty. Now the fingers are all warmed up. Let's do this. This is the 4th video I've made. Hopefully I've got everything right now. I probably don't. Don't care if this is the last time I'm doing Silver Proving Grounds because, quite honestly, I'm tired of doing it. There we go. Let's go to the middle to the NPC. Idea is to keep all ads off her and have her take as little damage as possible. She does heal you for a little bit. Not appreciable, but a little bit. 2 big lizard ads. Let's go ahead and get them off her. Pull them away a little bit. Let's pull down Outbreak. Blood Boil. Defile. They're going to die quick. As you can see, one is already dead. The other one is being a little more tenacious. Go ahead and use free Blood Boil. Do Death Coil, Death Strike. We have survive stacks. Let's use that. Go ahead and pop that, pop that, pop that. As you can see, he's dying very quickly. We still got 9 seconds to go. He's probably going to be dead. There we go. Do Soul Reaper, refresh diseases. Blood Boil, just to keep our rotation fresh. And as you can see, we're ready for Wave 2, which is a bunch of little rabbit dudes. Put down Defile. Go ahead and do a Blood Boil. Take them off of them. Get them into your Defile and just start putting your diseases up. Spread them. As you can see, Death Strike is healing me for everything I need. Do a free Blood Boil right there, and just start picking them off. Don't mind the little snake dude right there. That is a little effect that my sword has that I got from a mythic dungeon, so don't even worry about him. And as you can see, these are dying relatively quick. Still got 9 seconds on the clock. They're dying. Just go ahead and AoE these little motherfuckers down. Boom, boom. And there we go. Ready for Wave 3, which is Big Lizard Dude. Let's get him off there. Now we have Fireball. Whoops, let's jump over that. Got a Fireball Dude here. We want to kill him, drag him, and keep him occupied over here so the healer is not getting slammed in the face. Go ahead and start spreading diseases. Put down a Defile. There we go. Lizard's already dead. and Fireball Dude is going to go very short, very quickly. He is not even hitting that hard. Again, Death Strike's really healing me for everything I need. You can interrupt the Fireball, but again, it's not really doing that much damage. And if you keep it far enough away, you're not going to have an issue. More little rabbit dudes. Make sure you get all of them off of her. Use a taunt if you have to. Another Fireball Dude. We're going to get everything right here, right where we want it. Start spreading our diseases because, you know, Death Knights and our STDs, you gotta love us. Okay, so I'm taking spike damage, but as you can see, start using Blood Tap, activating runes, and I'm pretty much healing myself back up to full. Not an issue. And as you can see, also, he's dead, and we still have 8 seconds to go on our clock. So we are doing very well. How? Let's not dance in the fire. Wave 5. Here we go. 2 lizard dudes. Let's go ahead and pick up aggro on them quickly. Ah, another Fireball Dude. Let's go ahead and kill him quick. He's going down pretty fast. Let's spread our diseases. So everybody's having diseases. We must be liberal with diseases. Ah, and we can see rabbits coming up here. We're going to run back in, pick them up with a Blood Boil, drag them out a little bit. Let's put down a Defile, get that AoE going, and again, spread our diseases. If you really want to know the truth, Death Knights are total sluts. Free Blood Boil there. Not even really having to use Soul Reaper on this. They're going down really quick. And there you go. Wave 5 already. And here is Wave 6. Okay, we also have a flying ad here. Now, we're going to back up against this little stanchion thing here because the flying ad does a knockback. And once he does the knockback, as you can see, he's going to go back to the NPC and try to attack her. He's going to do that every single time. So you want to back up here so the knockback doesn't take you very far and you can get the ad off the NPC quickly. There we go. Diseases, Defile, and they are pretty much done. And there you go. Just use Dark Command. Dark Command has a very quick cooldown. It's dead. We're done. Still got 15 seconds to go. Plenty of time to kill this guy. Refresh our diseases. Go ahead and pop a Soul Reaper. Let's do a Blood Boil. And just start smashing them with Death Coil and Death Strike, and we're done. Let's go ahead and refresh our Bone Shield while we got a few seconds to breathe. We are now on the second to last wave. We have a large lizard dude, and we have a flying dude. Make sure you have aggro on everything. Get you back up against the stanchion. We also have a Fireball Dude. Oh, joy. Well, let's go ahead and, well, thank you, Mr. Knockback. You put me right where I needed to go. Go ahead and run forward a little bit. Yank him back. Now, this is where Dancing Rune Weapon comes in handy. As long as it's up and he does knockback, the sword should put the aggro right back on you without you having to go grab it. Put a Defile down. Do a spread. See? Ad stayed right there because of Dancing Rune Weapon. This is what I'm talking about. You need to know when and where to put your shit down. Just go ahead and start killing this stuff. Want to kill a Fireball Dude. There we go. There we go. Ah, see, Dancing Rune Weapon wore off, so now we have to pull him back with a Death Grip. And there we go. We are almost done. Now, you're going to have this happen. You're going to have waves that kind of collide into each other. We got another flying ad, and we got a bunch of little monkey dudes. Let's just take them back over here and finish everything off. We're going to do anti-magic shell. Oh, there we go. He did that. Let's go ahead and pull him back. Just tab target till you get where you need to go. You have time. Spread diseases. Defile down. As you can see, the last Fireball Dude is dead. There we go. Yep, he went off. Let's go ahead and grab him back. Just do a Dark Command. And go ahead. And we got 12 seconds to go on Dancing Rune Weapon. And odds are we probably aren't going to need it. Refresh your diseases. Blood Boil. If you've got a free Blood Boil, use it. Okay, let's go ahead and pop Rune Tap. Oh, see, he's dead. Let's go ahead and heal ourselves up for a little bit. Magic Shell. There we go. Right back where we need to be. Let's go ahead and do a Defile. He's dead. Now it's just the lizard dude. And as you can see, our timer is stalled out. Don't worry about it. You haven't lost. With tanking Proving Grounds, it's going to do that. It doesn't mean you've lost. It just means you need to keep the ads off the NPC. She needs to stay alive. You need to make sure the ads don't get overwhelmed and you don't die as well. So that is Silver Proving Grounds. I've shown you the glyphs and talents I've used. I showed you the abilities that I used, the cooldowns that I used. Hopefully it is handy. And we will do gold next because I'm not doing silver again. Bye.